like Mark said, my name is Michaela Ariazi. I'm the marketing coordinator here at HHM CPAs in our Chattanooga location, which is right down the road from campus. I am a UTC alum. It's crazy to say that I graduated 5 years ago. Last month, I was a December grad. So it's crazy it's been 5 years. I know a lot has changed on campus. I love getting to go visit campus back when we could visit. It was cool to see all the changes and the new Starbucks and everything. So today I'm going to be sharing a little bit about professional development, developing your personal brand, and developing a professional identity. It's one of my favorite topics. But since we're a smaller group, I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys mind to just introduce yourself briefly, maybe share your major and, I don't know, maybe your favorite ice cream flavor. If you want to do that. Start with you, Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I am going into my last semester as a senior. I'm majoring in HR management, and my favorite ice cream flavor is cookies and cream.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Alex. I'm also in my last semester majoring in electrical engineering, and favorite ice cream, I think I'll have to go chocolate chip cookie dough.
Classic.
Hi, I'm Caleb. I'm actually a UTC alum with degrees in education, and I'd have to say I'm a basic chocolate guy.
Me too.
Hi, my name is Monica Chung. I'm a first-year grad student in the Industrial Organizational Psychology program, and I think my favorite ice cream flavor is mint chocolate chip.
Hey, I'm Braden Sanford. I am also starting my second semester in the IO program. Hey, Ashton, by the way, haven't gotten a chance to say hey. But on my favorite ice cream flavor would probably be strawberry. Yeah, strawberry.
Hello. That was Randy Braden. That was not me. But hello.
Hey, Randy.
Friends that are in my program too. I'm Ashton, and I'm also going to be a second semester IO student. And I would say that my favorite ice cream is probably Ben & Jerry's Half Baked. I love the brownie cookie dough combo.
That's a good one. Well, I think that was everybody. So thank you so much for introducing yourself. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here. Hopefully you guys can see that, and go to full screen here. All right. Well, we will go ahead and just go on through. You guys have probably seen this slide quite a few times, but I just want to say thank you again to the whole Mind the Gap team for putting this together. They've done such a great job keeping everybody engaged during this semi-virtual environment. So they've done a great job. This session will be 30 minutes. Hopefully we'll get time for a lot of questions at the end. Of course, since we are a smaller group, feel free to unmute yourself or type in the comment box there, and we can answer those questions or talk about anything along the way. Sorry.
I just wanted to give you a heads up. On my end, I'm seeing your PDF, and we're still on page 1. So if you're advancing, we're not seeing it.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe I need to go to a different presentation mode. Thank you. Let's see. Can you see that now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think that'll work for now. That's okay. So the 3 major things we're going to talk about today that I think about when I think about developing a professional identity would be defining your personal brand, your online presence, and building relationships. So those things come to mind for me. So defining your personal brand, when I say that, I don't mean like, going live on Instagram every day or, making all your pictures look uniform or anything like that. I really just mean that now is your time to really think about your brand and what people think of you when they see you, whether it be in person or on social media. Your brand is something that follows you throughout your whole career, and it is really something no one can take from you. So, even if you switch professions or move across the country or from job to job, that personal brand is yours and you can shape it. And it might change throughout your professional career, but it's really the one thing you can start controlling earlier on. And don't let other people define you or your brand. It's really up to you. And so just be intentionally considering what impression you want to leave, and convey how you want to convey your professional goals and what you're interested in. So when I think of brand, it's really who you know, who knows you, what you know, and who knows that you know what you know. So that's kind of confusing, but really it's like, for example, if you're a realtor and you sell houses, nobody can buy your houses if they don't know you're selling houses, or that's what you do, that you're a licensed realtor. So it's really just letting everybody know what you're interested in or what you do, so that they know to come to you when it's time. And it's not about being pushy or being a salesperson through your brand. It's just about letting people know what you know and what you do, whether it's that you're an accounting student or that you're a human resources student. Just letting as many people know that as possible will help in the end. And it's really just helping others while furthering your career. There's really no good place to get started, but just to dive in and do it when it comes to starting your brand and your personal image. Even the most professional people you see or that you know of, whether it's the professors at UTC, they seem so professional to you now, but they did start somewhere too. They started right where we were. So they know how it feels, and everybody knows that as well. And it's really going to help you build your career. So your personal mission statement, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I know UTC and Irene and Jacqueline, they help you guys with this a lot, developing that personal mission statement. You guys might already have those down. But when you start thinking about that personal mission statement, really consider the people you admire and that you think of as really professional people, or people that are in a position that you would like to see yourself in. Consider those people and think about what draws you to them and what makes you think of them as professional people, what makes you admire them. And you also want to maybe start a list of your values and goals and consider those when you're building your personal mission statement. What are your strengths? And also, what is your audience? So when you're sharing your personal mission statement, who are you sharing that to? Because your personal mission statement might change from person to person that you're talking to, or events that you're going to. It might be different for each one. And of course, don't list everything you do. It's not your resume, but it's just a little blurb about yourself. It's your top highlights. And a good introduction should really leave people wanting to know more. So you don't want to share every detail, but just get them interested and give them the highlights of what you're looking to do. So this is mine, and it is a little long and probably listy, but I just wanted to put it here as an example. But I'm a marketing professional with 5 years of experience in visualizing, developing, and organizing company-wide marketing campaigns, coordinating diverse employee events, curating engaging content, and creating dynamic external and internal communications with proven results. So that's a little wordy, and it would be something good maybe to to lead in on LinkedIn, but when you're conversing with others, you know, I might shorten that down, make it a little more concise. So the next part I wanted to talk about with developing a professional identity would be your online presence. And I always feel kind of funny talking to you guys about this because I think you guys are more in that world than even I am. And you know how important social media is. You know, we're seeing it now more than ever that social media is just such a big part of life, whether it's professional life or just normal life. So, you know, I probably got on social media when I was in high school, I guess. So you guys may have even been on social media longer than that, probably. But don't look at social media as just social media, but look at it as social business. And I almost didn't want to put that in there because it sounds so harsh, I guess. But I don't mean like you want to be, or you have to be, of course you can if you want, but like making money on social media. But I mean, just look at it in that way that this could lead to, social media could lead to your next job or your next sale or whatever it may be. So just keep that in mind. Consistency is important when you're thinking of what you are sharing on social media or what you're putting out there for people to see, because it is what everybody sees. And Google yourself. I recently did that just to see what's out there. My name changed recently, so it's a little different, but it's always just a good practice just to Google yourself and see if there's any old social media pages that you might have changed and want to delete, and just see what's out there. And share purposefully. Is there something you want to be associated with? Is there a certain subject matter you want people to know that you're interested in or that you are an expert on? You could be sharing stuff about, you know, human resources tips if you're a human resources major. If you want to be a realtor, you could be sharing different trends in the real estate market. So just keep that in mind, that you can share purposefully and kind of have your feed looking like whatever your professional goals are right now. And of course, be kind and be careful. Social media can lead people down dark paths, it seems. So just keep that in mind. So I know you guys may have attended sessions on LinkedIn today and yesterday, so I won't talk too much about it because it's really its own presentation, but just know that it is a must, obviously, when you're developing a professional persona. Keep it updated. You may just have checked it off the list that you made a LinkedIn, that you're on there, but you really need to be using it to its full capability, and not just liking things, but maybe comment on things and really engage with people on LinkedIn. And always connect with somebody, you know, shortly after meeting them or shortly after engaging with them, so that, you know, it's not months down the road and they may have forgotten you. Just send a connect invite, you know, that night or the next day. And like I said, just comment. I know when we're looking to hire people here at our firm, people who engage with our page on social media just come to my mind more when we're having those conversations about who we're going to hire as interns, just because I see them more, they're engaging in our content, they're commenting on things or liking our posts. So just keep that in mind in your professional career, not just getting a job, but once you do land the job, engaging with other professionals that might be in similar positions to you is always a good idea. I know a story I like to share is that one of our accountants was pursuing a prospect for a while, so he wanted to do their business, and he saw on LinkedIn that they posted a picture of themselves paddleboarding recently, and he commented on it and was just like, hey, I'm really interested in paddleboarding too, would love to go with you sometime. And they ended up meeting up and connecting over that common interest. So you would be surprised what all you can do on LinkedIn and what connections you can make. And Facebook, you might not want to consider it a professional space if you're on LinkedIn, but I do think you should be looking at it professionally. And it's a great way to connect with coworkers or people in your industry that you're looking to connect with or that you admire or want to work with, because you can find common ground pretty quickly. You can see tidbits of their personal life, which really comes in handy when you're wanting to start a conversation with them. So what now, you might be thinking, just show up on a consistent basis, plan for maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day on LinkedIn, and find out what's important to your connections, whether it's on social media or asking them to have a virtual coffee. Build your network and just know that your fellow classmates are really your network. When we go to talking about building relationships, the people you are surrounded with now, they will be your network now and 5 years from now when they are in different professional industries. Consider them as your initial network. And obviously your network will grow, but these people that you're in class with now, they might not end up in the same job as you, but they will be doing something in the professional world. And it's just great to keep in touch with them and keep that in mind. 74% of decision makers say they prefer to work with professionals who know their colleagues, friends, or acquaintances. So that really shows the importance of just building relationships early on. Obviously, you don't want to do business with a stranger or hire a stranger. You'd so much rather it come from your friend's sister or your coworker's niece. You know, it's really just, you want to be able to like and trust somebody. So the more people you know and have connections with and know what you do, the better. So if you're going to take away something today, I would say just engage in conversations and engage in organizations. Volunteer is always a great way to build connections, and ask just one person to a Zoom meeting that you admire or that you see as somebody who's really professional or somebody who you think does a great job having a professional identity in the community. You'd be surprised at how many people would love to sit down with a student, and it might even flatter them, you know, if you ask them and reached out, and there's really nothing you can lose in doing so. But I think we have about like 10 minutes now, so I'd love to hear from you guys if you have any questions, or I'd love to know if you guys are, you know, on LinkedIn or engaging in a volunteer organization. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, I had a quick question about, I guess, being active on LinkedIn. How often, like, because I don't really post that much on LinkedIn, but I can, like, you know, like and like comment. But do you think that like posting a lot is important, or is it okay to like just like comment and just be, I guess, active?
Yeah, I'd say the most important thing is just to show that you are engaging on LinkedIn. Obviously, it would be great if you had something, an article you wrote for school, if you could post it or publish it on LinkedIn, but sharing is caring. So sharing other people's posts is a great way to engage if you're not actually posting. But if you do have an update on your career, or if you want to share that you're looking for a position, it's great to just post, you know, every so often with an update, introduce yourself to the feed, and saying what you're interested in is great. Thank you. Anything else?
I had a question about on LinkedIn. You said to go ahead and add somebody like shortly after meeting them. So say you have an interview with somebody, do you think that that's appropriate to go and follow them, or do you think that's something that you should ask if you can reach out and connect with them on LinkedIn before you do that?
Huh. I'm not sure what your professors tell you guys, but I wouldn't think it was strange or anything if you didn't ask me, and if you just, after we had an interaction, if you added me on LinkedIn and just in the message, I know it always asks if you want to write a message when you connect with somebody, just say, hey, I think I saw you so and so, or I met you at this conference. I would love to connect with you. And if you do have like a conversation with them, you could always say, I'll look for you on LinkedIn, or I'll be sure to add you on LinkedIn. But it's not necessary, I don't think.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have thoughts on that. So from a career services perspective, I think LinkedIn is great. Use LinkedIn. Make sure you're keeping your profile current. As far as who you connect with on there, if the only interaction you have with that person is that they are the person who is facilitating your interview, and that's the only engagement you've had with them, that seems a little off to me. But if you have met at a career fair or a networking event, or you've had some other occasion to engage where you're having an actual conversation, I think those times are fine. Or even if, like the person that you're interviewing with, if you had some conversation with them leading up to the interview, you could certainly submit that request to connect with the message and say, if you feel like it's appropriate, I'd love to connect with you and talk more. I look forward to the opportunity to interview with you. Or after the interview, if the conversation is continuing, then at that point you could add. But I think if it's I walked out the door from the interview and I've clicked connect on LinkedIn, that's almost as bad as like calling to follow up on your interview right after the interview. So a little bit of breathing room is probably good. I think the connection is appropriate if the circumstance is right.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So for some of us in the IO program, we're starting to kind of lock down internships for this coming summer. And I think it kind of creates a weird situation where you have these kind of like good conversations and interviews, and then like you find out if you get an internship or not, and let's just say that you do, it's kind of like dead space for like a couple of months, and then you show up and you're just going to start working with them. So I guess I was just curious, what is, just kind of, I want to give the impression like, hey, this internship could turn into something more, so how can you what are some interactions that you can have that can kind of be more consistent and authentic without it feeling forced, I guess?
So you said you're starting interviews for internships?
So I lucked out an internship for this summer. I just don't want to like not talk to them until then. And I guess I wasn't completely sure what was the best way to keep that conversation going.
Yeah, so we actually have a staff accountant who's starting this summer, and we hired him back in December, and he reached out to us and just asked to come visit our office and meet with some of our staff, obviously with space in between. But I think you could just reach out to them and ask them what they suggest, if there's a chance for you to get involved with events that they're hosting between now and then when you start. But I would just reach out to whoever you had the most contact with during the process and see if there's anything upcoming and if there's any way you can get involved. And you might have other suggestions, Mark.
Helps to unmute. I think that's great. Any kind of like point of contact in between is going to be good, because even though you're locked in as an intern, that they like you, they've hired you, and you're not going to be engaging officially until the summer term. You want to make sure that they know who you are when you show up. And so any of those points of engagement that you have between now and then are going to be great. So if that's connecting on LinkedIn, or if other platforms, Handshake, whatever you might be using, then that's also great. And then if there is occasion to maybe sit in, if they have maybe a team meeting that isn't super sensitive information, and you could, sit in on it and, like introduce yourself, and then just, be a fly on the wall just to get a feel for it, or stop in at the office if that's possible. Any kind of engagement just to make sure that you're getting to know them, they're getting to know you, that it's meaningful, it's not just something that's checking off a box, then I think that's going to be helpful.
Awesome, thank you.
I would agree. I was really impressed that our new hire for summer reached out early on and wanted to engage with us. So I would definitely do that. Are you guys volunteering or doing anything outside of school in the community? I guess it's a little harder now with COVID, but is there anything you guys are involved in on campus or outside of campus that has helped you be around other professionals? No, not yet. Well, I know I have served on some boards and gotten involved with different nonprofit organizations. And I thought that early on in my career, that was a great way to expose yourself to other professionals that have a like-minded spirit as you and are interested in something similar as you. And I think that's been big in my professional development. So I'm sure there's so many things to get involved in on campus, but once you do take the next step in and start your professional career, I think early on, that's a good thing to look into as well. Well, is there any other questions? Mark, is there anything I didn't touch on that you think was huge for you when you were developing your professional persona?
No, I think that's all really great information. But for me, it was one of those things that I did not fully utilize career services as an undergrad, and so did not really appreciate what that process was. Like, I didn't even know it was a thing. And so so by being here and being present and listening and taking these notes, and understanding that everything is a brand, that everything you do contributes to that, good or bad. And I think that, just take the notes and move forward and be thoughtful as you figure out how to present yourself. So nice job.
Awesome.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Get as involved in any of these opportunities that you can, just to get your name out there. And even if it's not what career path you're interested in, just getting the experience and getting to talk to others and presenting yourself in a professional way. That's
right. Okay. So I have 12 o'clock on the nose. And I have to open the debrief room. So and it's in this account. So I'm going to have to kick everybody out and start the next session. But I hope to see your faces in just a moment as we rejoin within that next room. Thanks so much for being a part of this. And so we'll reconvene and debrief what we learned today. Thanks so much.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.